Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Johnny, and welcome to, happy March now. I'm actually in Bali right now. I normally get these videos up on the very first of the month, but I was traveling and it's been hectic. The internet also in Bali is not that good, so it's had its ups and downs. But I wanted to share this month's income report in video form because unlike just the blog post, if you guys haven't read the blog post version yet, you can click on the link. So just go to johnnyfd.com. In there, I break everything down and just take screenshots all on my back end. But I think the benefit of the video is I get to just candidly talk about kind of more of the little like details and nuances of online life and being a digital nomad or a location independent entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it. So I've finally left Chiang Mai for a while, and it's crazy because I leave Chiang Mai twice a year. Even though it's my home base, I normally only spend 6 to 8 months there. But this time, because I sold all my stuff and I don't plan on going back until after Christmas, it feels like a big move. I'm now in Bali. I don't know if you can tell from the background, but it's beautiful here. I love it. I was hoping it could be the next digital nomad kind of destination or hotspot because it has a great beach. I'm 2 blocks away from the beach right now. I don't know if that's going to happen yet, so check back on the blog. I'm sure I'll talk more about it. So far, I think it's just going to be a nice vacation spot to come once in a while if you have your income passive already, or at least semi-passive. But I don't think it's going to be the next kind of like big entrepreneur hotspot where people come here and start making 6 figures. I think it's going to be most people I met so far like alternative health coaches and things like that. So anyways, let's jump actually straight into the income report. The places I traveled this month wasn't that much because besides coming to Bali, because I had the Nomad Summit earlier in the month, February 4th, and I was exhausted afterwards. So all we did was we rented motorcycles the next weekend, and we drove up to Doi Insanon, which is the highest point in Thailand. It's a beautiful place. If you haven't been there, I recommend going there on at least a like 250cc bike or something. It's really fun, and you can go camping up there, spend the weekend, unwinded, left the laptops at home, and that was amazing. And then I had some friends come visit the next weekend, and we did a bunch of touristy night market stuff. So I have a very cool video. If you want to click on that next. Where I just kind of show you around my favorite night market in Thailand and all the food that we eat. So I think you'll enjoy that. So shout out to my cousin and my friend who came to visit. So how do we keep affording this lifestyle? It's from either passive income or at least semi-passive income. So the first thing that is truly passive are my book sales. This month, $188 from Kindle. And you know what? I didn't even check about the new reviews this month, but that's normally actually how I keep track of how the book is doing. Not really necessarily by sales, but how many people are leaving reviews, because that kind of just shows people are still enjoying the book, it's still relevant, and the people are telling their friends. So thank you if you've left a review. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to check yet. For Udemy, another stream of completely passive income. I only log in maybe twice a month to answer some questions or some messages, but these are like little mini courses. These aren't like full-on giant courses, which is why they normally sell for like $15 to $50 on average. But as I said in the past, what's really cool is if you look at the promotions, Udemy sends me most of the traffic. So if I send $100 worth of customers to Udemy, they normally at least match it or more. So to me, that is a very passive type of income, which I really like. So with dropshipping, this is more semi-passive. In the beginning, it's not passive at all. You have to spend months building it up. I probably spent more time and energy building my dropshipping stores than I did at my corporate job that I actually was getting paid a salary for because it was my own business. So 40, 50, 60 hours a week for the first 2 months to build it up. And then after that, if you are trying to scale it or grow it, you might still end up spending 30 to 40, 50 hours a week. But the nice thing, and the reason why it's semi-passive, is then you have the option to let it just kind of either coast don't want to say maintenance mode because you still have to deal with customers and shipping issues once in a blue moon. But then you can have things in place, like you can automate a lot of things. You can hire someone to answer your phones, like I do. You can outsource your customer service or accounting, little things like that. So it ends up being semi-passive. So to be honest, right now we probably only spend an hour a day on our dropshipping stores because we've put in the effort when we built it almost 2 years ago, and we've had a great month. So me and Larissa's store, we made $4,300 in profit this month, and that's amazing for us. Like it's, and unfortunately, if it's not always going to be that consistent because it is sales and we sell expensive items. So sometimes we sell a ton of them, sometimes we only sell a few, and if this was the amount we made every month, she would actually just do this full time. But unfortunately, it's because sometimes we make $1,000, sometimes we make $4,000. We had one really bad month last year. It's not consistent enough for her to just rely on this as her sole income. But it's it's amazing side income. I think she actually made more from this month than she does at her full-time job back in South Africa. So I'm excited with that. As far as the partnership, we've had a couple stores who are actually now starting to be profitable, which is good. We've had a couple people putting on pause because they have their own stores. I don't know if you guys remember, but one of the criteria for the dropship partnership this year is everyone had to have at least one profitable store already on their own, which means 100% of the partners have a profitable dropshipping store. Unfortunately, I don't own any percentage with their first stores, and a lot of the things that we did during the partnership was spending time to either automate those or scale those up so they'd have more time for this store. And unfortunately, sometimes they just got so busy with that or their other projects that they just didn't have as much time for this store. So with one of those people, we made a couple sales, but it was kind of like it wasn't making that much money yet, and he just didn't want to invest that much more time in it. And someone offered him $1,300 just to buy the store because it looked nice, it had suppliers, and it had made a couple sales already. So we sold it for $1,300, which is not bad for a month and a half or 2 months of work. And hopefully some of the other kind of bear stores that we are still working on, those will actually hit our goal of being able to sell for $50,000 or more a year down the line. But we'll keep you updated on that. So next is the investment. So if you guys don't remember, when I sold my first store, I think it was last June or May or June. So it's been about 7 or 8 months now. I really got into investing because I had $60,000 cash from that store sale, and I didn't want to just leave it in my savings account. So I started looking into how to invest, and that's actually the exact same time that me and my buddy Sam decided to start a podcast called Invest Like a Boss, because he had sold his business too, a different business, but he had money to invest, and we wanted just to learn more. So this is going to be a big part of my life from now on. If you've been following this journey, you know that I wrote a post in, I think, 2014 about buying Facebook stock, and I was so naive, and it was embarrassing. So if you want to kind of see how little I knew about investing just 2 years ago, read that. And thankfully, I've learned a ton since then from reading books, talking to experts, and just doing my own research. And now, doing pretty good. So this month, with my index funds, with Vanguard, I made $4,400, which is insane. Unfortunately, well, I guess I don't know if it's unfortunately, but I'm not going to count that in my income report because these are called paper gains, where my account is worth that much more, but unless I sell it, I don't actually, get that money. And if you look at my charts from this year, there's a few months that will go down. So it wouldn't be fair for me to say, oh, I made $4,000 this month, but then in January I lost $2,000 because then I'm basically zero. So I didn't want to include these paper gains in my income reports until I actually sell the fund and it's solidified. Just because I don't want to say, oh, this month I lost $2,000. Oh, this month I made $4,000 or whatever it is. But what I do account is interest paid from things like my Peer Street investments. And we talk about all this on the podcast if you want to check it out. And there was a couple other ones that I didn't really look at just because it wasn't that much money yet. But this is another part of my life that I want to get more into. So we'll say this month I made $178, but that's from interest paid from my Peer Street account. With YouTube, what's amazing is every month I'm gaining like hundreds of subscribers. This month, 488. Thank you guys. Welcome to the channel. This is amazing. I think this is, to me, the biggest, I don't know, it's the biggest connection I have. Pretty much 90% of people that come up to me at an airport or at a coffee shop recognize me from my YouTube channel, and I'm sure it's because they can see my face and it's just easier to recognize someone. But I would have thought that people that listen to my podcast or read my blog would be the bigger audience, because there's just more people who read my blog. I don't know what the number is, but I think it's like over 100,000 people read my blog, and I get like 40 or something thousand podcast downloads. So I would have assumed it was that, but YouTube, I guess you guys are the champs. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna start making more fun videos, like that night market video. It has nothing to do with business, but I just like making it. It's fun. It lets me share like this, this cool travel lifestyle, share these tips, and then I can look back and just remember, that food, the experiences, the people I was with. So definitely keep, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, because I'm gonna be making more videos this year. And thanks to YouTube for giving me $85 for hosting on there. So this month I also had the Nomad Summit. So this is definitely not passive income. This is probably the most work I've done in centuries. I mean, like decades. I was working 80 hours a week, just stressed for months beforehand, especially the couple of weeks before. I had a lot on my plate. The day of, I was, just like exhausted. But it's something that I do out of love. And this year is actually the first year that's actually profitable, which is amazing too. First year, 2015, I guess, it was pretty much break even. Last year, I think we had like $1,000 extra, which is nice, but it was kind of like, it was almost break even. And this year, it was minus $10,000 for the first 2 months, because I had to put down a non-refundable $10,000 deposit, which is insane to me. But I really wanted this venue, and that was basically the rule, is I had to do it. And this is before I sold any tickets. So for 2 months, I was stressed, thinking, are we even going to break even? And then luckily about a month before, it started becoming more into the profit. It's expensive to put on these conferences, especially if you want to provide food for close to 400 people at a 5-star hotel. But it ended up being amazing, and the videos will be coming out very soon. My co-organizer for the year, Cody McKibben, he's handling all of the video side of it to get all the talks up, along with our editor, Bruno, and his team. So thank you guys so much for your help. And keep in touch either on this blog or on the email list, because I'll be sending out the videos once they are up and live, and they're going to be free. So what we did is we negotiated a deal with our sponsors. So big thank you to Empire Flippers. They are the site where you can buy and sell websites, whether they are a dropshipping store, an Amazon, FBA business, or whatever it is. It's a huge marketplace. So Empire Flippers, check them out. And also, if you want a way where you can either hire freelancers that are based in Thailand, whether it's, programmers, designers, whatever it is, or if you have a business, and especially if you're not American and you want to be able to have a tax residency in Thailand, Igloo.net is the other sponsor that has, come on board, and they are a great way where if you have to pay tax somewhere, Americans, we have to pay tax in the US anyway, so it doesn't matter for us. But if you're from the EU somewhere else, and you have to have a tax residency, you might as well pay tax in Thailand, where it's less money than Germany or wherever you're from. So check out Igloo, and thank you guys, thank those guys for sponsoring the event, so then we can put the videos out for free. You can also subscribe to the Nomad Summit YouTube channel, and it'll be all right. So the total revenue, including sponsorships and ticket sales, was $33,943, and because there was so much expenses for just having the venue and feeding everyone and hiring the video team and the photographers and everything else that comes along with it, our total profit was $6,400, which to me was actually amazing, because I wasn't trying to make money from this event. But what we did is we reinvested that into the deposit for next year. So depending on the way you look at it, technically, I guess we lost $3,500 because that money is locked up. It's not non-refundable for next year. But I I'm going to count it as income, because if I didn't decide to do another Nomad Summit next year, then that would be in pocket profit. So let's say $6,400 for that. So big shout out to everyone who came. Here is a very cool video of just attendees from around the world that came to the Nomad Summit at the pool party. So check that out, and then also keep in touch on the Nomad Summit YouTube channel for the videos, full length videos coming out soon, probably in the next few days or the next week or so. So I also make money from my courses, Earnest Affiliate, which is the way that I teach people how to monetize their web traffic, whether it's their blog or YouTube channel or ebooks or email list, podcast, whatever it is, just whatever traffic that you have, in a very earnest and honest way, where you can just recommend things that you just believe in and trust in anyways, and things that you use anyways. And I know it almost kind of sounds overly complicated, but I think the reason why people sign up for the course is people just want to have a blueprint, of something that actually has worked for other people. I'll have a place for people to ask questions and just get like common things answered for their own kind of strategy. Because there's a lot, I'm sure there's a lot of people who try to have a blog or a YouTube channel and they just never make any money from it. So I'm very excited for that being available. And this is a project that I've been trying to spend more time on for at least a few months now, if not, the last half a year or so, because I really want to build up my Earnest Affiliate course to be something big. Right now it just sells for $197 because it's kind of like the first draft of it, and it's a full course. It has everything in it. It's 100% complete, but there's a lot of things that I want to either refilm to make it just easier to digest, or just turn up the quality of it, especially because when I made that course I was only making maybe like $3,000 a month in affiliate income, and now I'm making 8 to 10 to sometimes even more, and I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. So I'm going to be refilming some of those videos in the next couple of months, and everybody who's part of the course already, and this is Earnest Affiliate, will get a free upgrade, which is cool. I also have an older course called Optimize Like a Boss, which is, I don't advertise much because it's only for people that already have a successful dropshipping store. So if you're already making sales but you just want to increase your conversion rate, so right now you might be making 0.5% or something, you want to try to increase that over 1% or 2%, that is the course for them. And so in total I made $1,576 from my courses this month. And here's the thing about courses is there's people that either just love them, and because they've gotten something out of it, and they're like, this is the best kind of return on investment I've ever done, or I couldn't have done it without it. And then there's a lot of people who are like, all the information is somewhere on the internet. You just have to gather it, spend a few months gathering it together, and it's all free. You can figure it out. And I guess both people have a point. For me personally, I'd rather just save that time and just know that I'm not getting contradictory information from multiple sources, and just have one person who I trust, who knows what they're doing, just kind of guide me through it. And that's why I'm a big believer in courses, and that's why I make this course myself. And this is something I'm going to be focusing on growing in the next year. So this is also the first month I've separated out my podcast income, or added it in, because one of the way I monetize my podcast, if you notice, it's free and there's never any ads until now, is if somebody talks about a book or program or software or course or even a product, I would just have my editor turn that link into an affiliate link in the show notes. So if you are nice and you want to just support me, or or it's something that for whatever reason is like pack safe 25V whatever backpack, and you're like, oh, it'd be easier for me to click the link than try to go to Amazon and just search for myself, make sure it's the right one that Johnny's actually talking about. You go to the show notes. You either go to the travellikeabosspodcast.com and click on the episode, or you just click on your phone. Most of the time you can just get into the show notes, and if you click that link and you buy that backpack that I talked about through my Amazon affiliate link, I get commission for it. So, and it's the same thing with books and courses and camera gear, whatever it is that we talked about. And that is how I've been monetizing my podcast, because to me it's just something that we would have talked about anyways. Why not have that be an easy way to monetize it? But it's also kind of silly that I have zero sponsors at all, even though every podcast in the world has a sponsor. And I don't think people mind having a 15-second break, especially in the beginning, to just thank a sponsor. So I finally take one in, and the reason why it took me so long to accept a sponsor is I didn't want it to be something cheesy or something that had nothing to do with my audience. I mean, for example, one of the people that reached out or I had a chance with was Casper mattresses, and if I lived in the U.S. and my audience was about better sleep at night or or something like that, I would absolutely have them on because I'm like, oh, great, if they're a good mattress company and they deliver, then, that would be very relevant. But for Travel Like a Boss, it's kind of, we want to travel, we want to be minimalistic, we want to have less stuff. So I didn't want to recommend someone buy a new mattress if what they really should be doing is buying a plane ticket. And TripStreak does that. So if you guys haven't checked them out yet, there's a link, but it's tripstreak.com/travellikeaboss. And they are just a travel search company. So right now, mainly they're searching for flights. But what's different for them and other companies is they allow you to have preferences. Like, I only want completely lay flat seats if I'm business class, or so you don't get tricked into having one of those seats that look like it'll be lay flat, but it really is at like a little bit of angle, which they call angle flat. Or some people really like red eye flights because they want to be able to sleep on a plane the whole night, or some people hate red eye flights, and you basically just make a profile and then it searches based on that instead of just giving the lowest price, which usually sounds like the what we want, but in reality, it's I'd rather pay $50 more and have or even $500 more sometimes and have the seat I really like. So I brought them on board. Thank you, TripStreak, for that. And because we negotiated a kind of an intro deal where it's $250 an episode for the pre-roll ad, I made $1,000 this month. Woohoo! And for them, I think they got a great deal because I think it was so far 48,000 people this month have downloaded, and that's only 3 episodes in. So I think this month's going to be another 58 or 1,000 or maybe even 60,000 download month once I actually get that up. So affiliate income is the way I like to personally monetize all my different blogs, all my different email lists, all my different podcasts, all my different ebooks, basically all the web traffic out there. And this month I've renamed it affiliate/other because that's really what it is. I would say at least a quarter, if not more, of my affiliate income comes from my podcast. A quarter of it comes from my email list. A quarter of it comes from kind of other sources, and then a quarter of it comes from this blog. So it's a bit confusing because people just assume it's one source. But I think the reason why I was trying to ramp up my affiliate income so much last year and focus so much on it is because I was creating this course and I wanted to be able to have the knowledge, but also to have it as a case study and say look, I know what I'm talking about. I brought my affiliate income from probably a couple $100 total from my when I started blogging in year 2000 to 2013. I maybe made a few $100s total. I'd make $10 here, $20 there. And I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't focused on it. It was just kind of I'll install Google AdSense instead. It's just easier. And it wasn't until 3 years ago that I actually figured out, I'm like, oh, wow, I can make over $1,000 a month from affiliate income. And then when I hit 3,000, that's when I started making earnest affiliate. And then once I made it, I was like, well, now, I'm the expert. I have to figure it out. So then I've focused so much energy last year scaling that up. I think this year, that was fun, but I want to move on to kind of the next exciting thing. So I'm just going to let this coast. So my affiliate income is probably going to, I'm very happy. Anything over, 5, 6, 7, 8,000. If it was 10,000 or more, I'm ecstatic. So that's where it is. And here's a couple examples of things I've sold. And what I really like is most of the things I'm making money from through my affiliate income isn't what I'm posting this month. And I think a lot of people have that misconception. People that aren't part of the course just look at what I posted this month. They're like, okay, that must be what he's making money from. But what people don't realize is it takes Google months to start kind of ranking you. People start sharing things. People start finding things kind of organically. And the things that I'm making money from are things like my Paxic luggage that I wrote about, I think almost 2 years ago in October 2015. I made a review about that. Same thing with all these USB mics that I wrote about. These are all, I think, in November 2015. And then these are just a couple easy examples of physical products because it's easier for people to wrap their head around. But I also promote digital products and hosting and all these other things as well. So here is the kind of an inside look at one of my dashboards for one of the software products that I promote and the commissions I get from it every month. So in total, $8,683 from affiliate commissions. Thank you guys for anyone who actually goes out of their way to use my link when you're going to buy something anyways, either through Amazon or somewhere else, because it doesn't cost you anymore and it gives me credit. So I really appreciate that. So of course we have expenses every month. Here are some of the kind of reoccurring monthly business expenses I have with like editing and paying for my co-working space or my podcast editing, things like that. And then this month is my last month in my apartment in Chiang Mai. I love that place, but I moved out, and I don't think I'm going to find anywhere that cheap again, so I'm a bit sad about that. But it's okay. I also flew to Bali on the 28th, so I'm going to include that in here. And one thing that I spent a little bit more money on this month is donations to the Warm Heart Worldwide Biochar Project. If you guys are unfamiliar with what that is, every single year in Chiang Mai or northern Thailand, there's the burning season, which is the crop burning season, where farmers, they kind of slash and burn to clear land to be able to plant crops for next year. And the problem with that is all that smoke goes into the air, and not only is it terrible for the environment and as a whole, literally for the whole earth, but in northern Thailand and Chiang Mai and places like that, 1,000 kids and elderly people die every year of respiratory illnesses. 1,000, which is insane. And for us nomads, we can just move. Once the air starts getting bad, we just fly. We fly to Bali for a month. Just chill by the beach, or we go somewhere else. Go to southern Thailand to the islands. But there's a lot of people, poor people or old people or little kids that they can't leave, and they just inhale all the smoke, all the little particles in it, and people literally die from it. So there hasn't really been a big solution until Warm Hearts they created a biochar project where they teach people or they show them how to burn their old crops gatherings in a container, in a big metal container. And what that does is instead of the smoke going into the air, that smoke now becomes biocharcoal, which they can sell or use as fertilizer. So they actually have a new income stream, even though there's that upfront cost for the first year. For the next 5 or 10 years, they have a new income stream, which is amazing. So what I've done is I put out into the Chiang Mai Digital Nomads group that I will match anybody's contribution, because I really want people to support it. And I don't want to be the only one to support it, because it's one of those things where it benefits everyone. So I told it, I said, let's do $1,000 goal, because that'll help build at least one of these things. I don't know how much they cost each, but it'll be a significant goal, and whatever people donate, I will match it. So far, people have donated $270, and I matched $270. So big thank you to everyone who's done that, and I'm gonna continue doing that to the end of the month. So if anyone wants to support, click the link, and once you've donated, I will go in and match that as well. So thank you guys for that. And my mom, still giving her money. This is going to be for the rest of my life. So shout out to my mom, who I don't know when I'm going to see her next, but I just saw her in Taiwan last month. So not too worried yet. I want to say a big thank you to all my Chiang Mai friends who came to my going away dinner. I know a lot of people have already left town early for the burning season, or they're out of town for other reasons. But everyone who's still around, it's nice to get together before I leave. So kind of the monthly wrap up, I guess, kind of last thoughts. It's been a very interesting month. I'm a bit sad to leave Chiang Mai, and at the same time, it's such a nice feeling to be able to make a significant amount of money while location independent, while traveling. And this month was $19,000, which to me is insane, because that's what my parents used to make in a year. And this is, even if it was 10,000, I would be ecstatic, because I never thought I'd ever make a 6-figure income. And now that I have the choice to live and travel wherever I want, it's almost kind of a difficult decision, because I don't know if I want to stay in Asia, or if I want to go to Europe, or maybe even South America. So keep in touch, follow the journey, because who knows where life's going to take me. And If you've enjoyed this video, if you have any questions, or if you just want to say hi, please leave a comment below on the video or on the actual blog post itself. These take forever to make, to be honest, and I don't know if I'm going to make that many more, at least in this detail, in the future, especially because there's a lot of people that just don't appreciate it. A lot of people just scroll through to either try to find, mistakes that I made, or try to, just look for like whenever I fuck up. And, I'm so open about when I fuck up that people just use that as like, I guess, a way to say like, oh, Johnny's bleeding, let's cut him more. And I don't want people to kick me when I'm down. I think when I'm up and, I have a good month, nobody says anything. Everyone's just there. And then if I ever had a bad month for whatever reason, and, things happen. This is business, my ads might not be running one month and I might have a 0 month income. I don't want people just taking advantage of that. So as long as the positive people vastly outweigh the negativity, I will continue putting this out there, because I really think that these income reports and these kind of transparency reports help a lot of people, and I wish these things existed when I started. But if there ever ends up being more kind of negative people than the positive, and people aren't appreciating it, then there's no reason for me to do it, because I really do this for you guys. So thank you so much for following the journey, and I will see you all next month. Bye-bye.